So Tyron and Colby's fight is getting closer and closer, and that's of high anticipation. It's a very meaningful fight within that division. That division is very clear right now to me that we've got Kamaru versus Burns, and you got Colby sitting there waiting for him. I mean, I really feel, and I do maintain, if anything was established the night that Usman fought Colby, is that we had the right two guys. Colby, Kamaru, right two guys to be fighting for the championship. Usman, who has a right to an opinion, and not just a right to an opinion. I have the right to an opinion. You have the right to opinion, but I mean, he has a different level of credibility as he weighs in on Colby versus Tyron because he fought Colby and he fought Tyron. For Usman to give an assessment, though, it's very unique. By example, it's not a case of MMA math where you go, well, I had a really hard fight with Colby. In fact, we went into the fifth round all tied up to a piece. And with Tyron, I was kind of having my way in certain positions. The reason I bring that up is because it was totally different fights. Usman never tried to take Colby down. Colby never tried to take Usman down. Usman and Woodley wrestled for 25 minutes. It was just totally different fights. The way that Usman went out there, strategically speaking, was totally different fights. So it's one of those things where you can spend some time with both guys, but when you're doing a different thing, Usman in large part is left to guess, and he said that he's gone back and forth. He goes, man, I don't know. As a matter of fact, I was just influenced by an interview that T. Wood did, where he's talking about he feels great, he's back, he's in full swing, it's T. Wood of old. And Usman goes, man, it might be. And if it is, that could change everything. So Usman was saying that he was affected by an interview and things that Tyron said, even greater so than his own experience in the ring with them, which I think is very fair by Usman, considering it was two different fights. One was a straight up kickboxing brawl, and one was a little bit more calculated, push him into the fence, get him down to the ground, keep him. They were different fights. I respected that Usman didn't attempt to weigh in on who was closer or who was a harder match for me. Because I don't know how relevant it would be. We would all listen to him because that is the champion who shared the ring with them and had those experiences, but they were different fights. And there is something to be said for what Tyron is saying. I don't see it. I haven't seen Tyron look bad yet. I just haven't seen it, but he apparently does. Tyron has said, nah, that wasn't me. Those outcomes weren't just positionally based. There was more leading into it, more leading into the fight. I have to take him at his word because that's just not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the guy in the main event fighting the absolute hardest guys out there, and a lot of times he got his hand raised, and sometimes he didn't, but the times that he did it, it was the same two positional issues. You work on that position, you correct it, you don't have any more weaknesses. That's just what I'm seeing. I'm every bit as intrigued for this fight. I think this fight is every bit as meaningful as it ever was. Colby is never not a good choice to fight for a world championship. T. Wood has never not been a good choice for 6 years to not be fighting for a world championship, and largely had to because he was the one bringing the damn championship. It's a match that needs to happen. It's personal. There's a grudge. There's a backstory. They used to be teammates. Colby then was training number one partner Masvidal. Masvidal and T. Wood are now training, getting ready. I mean, there's a lot on it. I feel like the story's not being told. I know you guys know. I know amongst us, it's a hardcore dream. I feel as though this can transcend this storyline, the meaningfulness of this fight, the mutual opponent who is now speaking up on the fight. I feel the story needs to be told.